You're listening to the Epically Geeky Show, a place for all things geeky.
Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 29. I am your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Our opening question is, when it comes to shopping, do you prefer doing it online or in person, Cyrus Martin?
That's a good question. Well, do I prefer? I really enjoy going to a store where I can look at stuff, because I just like to look at stuff, and I like the idea of being able to buy it right then and grab it and go. But I have to admit, recently I've done a lot of online shopping, various different places, and it's not bad either now. I mean, the shipping has gotten super fast. It's a lot better than it used to be. So, I don't know. I'm still going to say I prefer to go into a store. But,
okay.
But yeah, the online is getting a lot better.
That's fair enough. Lainey, where do you fall down on this?
You know, I think it depends on if I'm alone or not. I really like to online shop. It gets me in trouble because I get on Amazon and I'm like, interesting.
Yes.
So, but I like to, if I'm shopping with someone, I actually really like to go to a store. Because it's kind of fun, like, especially if I go with, like, one of my friends, it's kind of fun to be like, oh, what do you think about this? Da-da-da-da. Or if I'm, like, record shopping or something, that's really fun to do with a friend. So, and that's, like, a whole ordeal because you stand in there for 3 hours, like, flipping through records. That's super fun. So, it kind of depends on what it is, but I think I kind of prefer doing it in person.
Interesting. Okay.
To be honest, I don't really clothes shop anymore.
Yeah. Chris, where do you? What's your opinion on this?
I don't really like shopping in general.
Okay.
But I'm always wary when I have to shop online, and I only do it if it's like absolutely, completely necessary. And I'm always wary when you start punching in the credit card number. Like, I don't like it. I feel like I'm gonna get burned or something. So I don't enjoy it. And when I do have to go shopping, I'd rather just be there and I can touch it and it's tangible, and I can, if it's clothes shopping, I can try it on, make sure it fits. So yeah, I'd rather just, if I have to, I'd rather just go.
Okay. Ray, where do you come down on this?
I'm also of the preference of being in person, more because we have to be very cognizant of where we buy online. If it's coming from the States,
oh yeah, we
need to, it crosses that border.
Oh yeah.
Get dinged hard on that. So
that makes sense.
So yeah.
Well, Canada.
That makes sense. To me, it depends on what the items are. If it's clothes, if it's food, if it's whatever, just normal stuff, yes, absolutely. Let me order it online. Let it show up. I would if I could order everything online, I would. Except for when and I don't really consider this shopping. I consider this more so browsing. If I'm I've got a little bit of time, I just want to look at for board games or say for action figures or something like that. It is cool to actually go to a store and actually see it there and be able to kind of look around. So I guess it also depends on the type of shop. Like I said, Walmart or something like that, whatever. But I will say I did enjoy taking my boys to Toys R Us because they had some money left over from their birthday, and walking around and just seeing all the toys. That was fun. So for me, it depends on what it is I'm shopping for. If it's stuff that I need, I'd much rather just order it and have it show up at the house. If it's stuff that I'm interested in, yeah, going to the store is not bad. So, but yeah, I've got a 30 some odd list deep of board games on Amazon, just waiting to have the trigger pulled on them eventually. So.
That's true. Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, you just made me think of this. I like that because it's kind of true. It's like if I really actually want to go and look at something, it's something I'm just really interested in, I kind of do the same thing because I was thinking about it when I was in Florida, and I would go with my friends on our off days down to downtown Disney Springs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun to we used to do that all the time. We go and get coffee or something and just walk through the stores and browse.
Right.
And window shop in the Marvel store and
right.
At the Star Wars launch bay, all that kind of cool stuff. So, yeah, I agree. I like that.
Yeah, so like
If I'm
comic book
actually
store,
interested.
Barnes and Noble, someplace like that. No problem going through. Walmart, I'll just order it and show up. You can throw it in my cart.
Yes.
All right. Which kind of plays into our main topic for tonight. Line sitting. Normally you wouldn't think this is probably going to be a very good topic, but most of us probably have some pretty interesting stories when it comes to waiting in lines for things.
Mm-hmm.
And I made sure to say this counts for anything. This could be waiting for movie tickets. This could be for waiting for concert tickets or even to get into a concert or whatever. This can also be for like waiting, in I'm sure probably Sinai's case mostly, waiting for new game consoles to come out. So yeah, we're going to share some of our favorite stories, or at least odd stories, however you want, whatever stories they are about, are some of our biggest memories about sitting in lines waiting for something, whether it be tickets or something you're going to bring home or whatever. So, would anyone like to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
I haven't stepped up before, so hey.
Ray's on it.
I was just like, all right, Lainey's going to say it in
I
three,
usually do, but I was like, I'm gonna
2, and then
let
Ray spoke up. I'm
someone-
like, sweet, Ray. All right.
Ours are going to overlap.
Yes, there is a major disclaimer. For the length of time that Chris and I have been together, there will be some overlap.
Oh, that's,
That's
perfectly
fair.
cool.
So my first one, I'm going to pick Eddie Bauer. You may or may not know who he is. He was a goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs the last time that they won the Cup, which was in 1967.
I
There was
literally was thinking of the clothing store.
I was too.
Yeah, no. This
I'm
is
sorry.
the goaltender.
Okay.
So anyway, I overheard on the radio that he was coming to a town near us, and this man is known to go everywhere and anywhere and just sign his autograph. Yeah, he's into his 80s, very close to his 90s, I think now, because he was in his 40s when they won the Cup. So anyway, it was really cool. We showed up, and I brought I'm a goaltender as well for hockey, so I brought one of my older helmets, and it was cool because we're standing in line, and next thing you know, he sees that I'm bringing a helmet out, and he's like, "Hey, it's a fellow goaltender," and so he's signing it up, and
Nice.
That's so cool.
I was a little kid. I turned into a little kid, and my father-in-law was with me, and he turned into a little kid because he wasn't going to stand in line, and then he realized who it was, and he's like, "Yeah, okay." So it was really, really cool.
My dad's really shy, so he doesn't like being around people. And so for him and he is a giant sports nerd, so for him to see Eddie Bauer, this hockey hero that he grew up watching, both of them were like little children meeting.
Aww.
That's
That's
awesome.
so cute.
Because Eddie Bauer, he played hockey before there was actually face and head equipment for goalies. So
He didn't have a helmet.
His face up, and there are scars everywhere. It's lucky the man's not drooling because he got hit a lot in the head.
No shit.
Damn.
His face looks like a road map
Yes,
with the
it
amount of
does.
scars.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the nicest man. He was so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my start.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Although I will be honest, when you said Eddie Bauer, I was immediately thinking, I was like, is this some kind of a weird Canadian thing where they're like, it's like a super or something? Like here,
I know,
it's
I
like
was like,
whatever.
Is he like
But
We're
this is a
waiting
much
for
better
great
story.
outdoorsman and I just didn't know it?
The spring sampling is just amazing to go see.
It's just, I had to go see the fall line. I just couldn't stop it.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close the show because Ray's already won everything. Chris, do you want to get and jump in with your first story?
Sure. So 3 years ago, I guess, Ray and I went to our first fan expo in Toronto,
Yeah.
and we went without the kids. And
Even better.
no, it's fun to bring them. Anyway, so we were looking at who we were going to meet, who was there, and we're like, okay, well, we have to meet Stanley, and we're going to get 2 pictures with them because we can. So we did. Anyways, the line was enormous. We wound up standing behind this guy who, this is what he does. He just meets all these celebrities at these different expos, and he has all these good stories. He talks about how he met Carrie Fisher. This guy's really tall. I think, what was he, like 6'6"?
6'6", 6'7", easy.
Yeah, so Carrie Fisher's short.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're just standing there waiting for the photographer to take the picture. And as soon as he takes a picture, Carrie Fisher literally wraps her leg and her arm around this dude.
Jumps up on him and like is just all over him.
And the look, and he showed us the picture, and the look on his face, he's scared.
Aww.
Carrie Fisher just basically leapt onto him, and he didn't know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But when we met him, we were just herded like cattle, basically. And there's Stanley, and he is so small.
Felt really bad for him. He's
And
sitting
very-
on a stool.
Yeah, and very tan. And he's
Really?
Yeah, he looks nice. Picture reminds me of my granddad. And he didn't say anything. It was so cute.
We weren't allowed.
Well, not really, because his people were shuffling everybody along. And so we stood behind him. Ray was like, "Hello, Mr. Lee. Nice to meet you, Mr. Lee. It's an honor."
Oh my God.
It was adorable. And we took 2 pictures with him. And it was, even though we didn't talk to him, just to stand there with him. We did do the Spider-Man thing.
So
Nice.
That's awesome.
So the first picture is just us standing there with a smile, and he's got a bit of a smirk on his face. Then the second picture, we both throw out the Spider-Man hand.
We had planned that before.
Yeah, which we did. So we threw them out, and he kind of looks at my hand, and he looks over at Chris's, and doesn't he look up at the camera, and he does it too? And then when we get out there, he's got a great big smile.
On his face.
Aww,
Nice.
that's so cool.
So that was worth the what, like $150
$150, whatever it was.
spent on that.
Doesn't matter. It was awesome.
And like the 45 minutes, whatever we waited in line, but it was worth it to meet him.
That
And we're
is
going to
awesome.
the kids this year in September
To finish.
to Fan Expo to meet Stanley.
I want to go.
That's awesome. Oh, see, I went historically on my list, like the earliest thing I remembered first. Yes, so I guess I can just jump in. My earliest memory of waiting for something, and it's kind of 2 things actually at once. Super Mario Brothers 3 was coming out, and I was a huge fan of Nintendo. I loved, the other games. I heard, oh my God, Super Mario Brothers 3 is coming out, and found out when it was coming out or whatever. So that morning, we found out the date or whatever. That morning, we drove to the mall because that's pretty much we didn't have a Toys R Us or any of the kind of toy stores. That's where you went to go buy video games. Was at the mall at the toy store, and we get in there and it's at KB Toys, and we get in there and the guy's like, no, the shipment hasn't come yet. It probably won't be here till noon or so. I'm like, okay. So I asked my mom, I'm like, do we go home or come back? She's like, no, I don't want to actually go and it show up or whatever. I'm like, okay. So we just kind of go out and do different things in the mall, and about every hour we come back and say, hey, has it showed up? He's like, no, it's still in here yet. Well, we end up eating lunch, and then 1 o'clock rolls around, and then it's 2, and then it's 3, and we keep checking in, and the guy's like, yeah, they're running really late today. I am so sorry about this. And it's like at 3 o'clock. We've been there since like 10 in the morning, so we've already been there like 5 hours. And I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I thank you for waiting, but if you want to go, but I couldn't even finish. She's like, no, we're waiting for this game. We've been here this long. We're getting this game. And I'm like,
It's happening.
So anyway, we kept waiting, and it was late afternoon. I don't remember exactly what time it was. Sure enough, here comes UPS. So, literally we see the guy walking through the mall, and we're tailing him. I'm sure he's like, what the fuck are these people doing? So we get in there, and, of course the guy's helping another customer or whatever. As soon as he finishes with that, he takes open the box, cuts it open and opens it or whatever, and pulls out, there are only 3 copies of the game.
Oh, man.
He immediately puts one back for himself, hands one to us, and there was one other person standing there, and he's like, can I get the other copy? He was like, sure, and that was it. And I was just like, oh my God.
Damn.
So anyway, yeah, so that was one of my first memories. And then my second memory is waiting in line for the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. We were standing outside the movie theater, and it was my mom, it was my brother, myself, and Lewis. And I want to say it was the same weekend. I think it was the same weekend. It may have been a weekend off. I'd have to actually go back and look at the dates. But yeah, I remember specifically standing outside waiting for this movie that as kids we just couldn't wait to see. We couldn't believe there was Ninja Turtles on the big screen. And I guess that was the first time I was really excited, pumped to go see a movie or whatever. And I remember we were just telling Lewis, you wouldn't believe all the stuff you can do in Super Mario Bros. 3. It's great. You can get a shoe, and you're a raccoon, and you can fly. And he's like, this is crazy. This can't, that was one of the best weekends of my life, was going to see the movie with Lou and then going home and playing Super Mario Bros. 3. So
That's awesome.
But yeah, between those two lines, like that's like that was like a big thing to me, and like I said, I remember it to this day. It was so awesome. So,
That's wicked.
Cyrus, you want to go next?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with the Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1 line.
Okay.
Me, my brother, and my cousin. This is '99, obviously. You had to wait in line at the theater back then to buy tickets ahead of time.
Right, you had to wait in line just to get the tickets, not
Yeah.
even just to get in the theater, just to get the damn tickets.
Right. And they started selling the tickets a week ahead of time. So we went to the theater and waited in line all day outside, in 90-something degree, weather, just to buy tickets. And there was probably 200 or 300 people all there, all talking about Star Wars, all getting themselves excited about it, because this was, first Star Wars in 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And, it was really, really fascinating, waiting in that line to buy the tickets. And so we go back the next week, see the same people again. So, some people have, costumes, some people have board games, some people have different things or whatever. The television media is there. My cousin got on TV talking about Star Wars, and we waited in line all day again. The different shops in the mall over at Grapevine Mills Mall up here in North Texas, they started coming out, giving away stuff, throwing stuff out in the crowd. Everybody started like doing Star Wars trivia and like there it was just really fascinating, really really interesting experience that lasted many hours, because there was no, if you didn't get there early you were screwed. So everybody got there super early, so we were waiting in line for the movie 10 hours before the movie started.
God.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember those days.
Oh God.
Yeah, so we're all just sitting outside the theater for hours and hours and hours, just talking about Star Wars and deciding who's going to go get something for everybody to drink and eat. And
I love the camaraderie that happens.
it was really interesting. And the movie starts and we're all screaming and yelling and celebrating. And, of course, after the movie, it is what it is. But we were all.
Wait, what if it sucks?
The hangover kicked in.
We were really excited about it.
One guy's clapping.
If I could have permission to do this, I'd like to go ahead and tell you my next one.
Okay.
How dare you? Go
Sure.
For it.
Well, it's related to that.
Okay.
My next one is Star Wars episode. What would it be? 3, The Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
That's interesting because this was the last one of the prequels. It was at the same theater that we went and saw The Phantom Menace at, and this is, 6 years later?
Yeah.
And this time it's my brother, he's back with us, but it's me and my wife and my daughter. And we all bought lightsabers, and we had lightsaber duels all out in front of the theater, and all kinds of little kids got involved, and we were in the theater running up and down the aisles.
Aww.
And
Nice.
my daughter was 10, so she was the exact right age.
Yep.
Perfect.
And we just had so much fun, and it ended up being a good movie, and just a really great way to end the Star Wars experience, as far as her, childhood and everything. She was so excited about it and, really into it, and, just a really fun family thing. And it was, the Phantom Menace line was so much about me, my brother, and my cousin, finishing, this thing that had carried on since we were kids. And to be there with her with that was just really special.
Aww.
That's awesome,
That's
dude.
sweet. I like that. That's a good one.
It is. All right, Lainey, what is your first one?
Okay, so I am obviously a big Disney nerd, and I was a Disney kid. So if there's one thing I can do, it's wait in a line. And super good at it because I went before the invention of FastPass. So just saying.
Been there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can entertain myself in a line. That's for damn sure. So I'm actually gonna do one of my very, very first. Are we okay? I'm gonna do one of my first memories of waiting in a line. Most of mine are gonna be Disney related, so bear with me.
All good.
But when I remember going for my very first trip when I was 7, and my parents are also big dorks and did a ton of research and everything, so I was very aware of like what I was getting myself into. I knew a lot about the rides and everything, and so when I actually got to like walk up to them, it was a pretty huge deal. And I remember going up to ride Space Mountain for the very first time, and it was not a short wait by any means, but I will never forget waiting in that line because like you walk through it and it's just so cool. And I'll never forget walking through this one specific part. It's called the Star Tunnel. Yeah. It's my favorite part of the whole thing. I own like the music from it because I'm obsessed with it. Okay. You know, like I have all these really great memories of like my mom like pointing all the stuff out to me and my dad getting really excited and like talking to other people in line and everything. And there's just a lot to be said. Oh, are we okay? But yeah, there's just a lot to be said for like talking to people in a Disneyland. But I just remember like the line for that gets you so excited because you get closer and closer and closer, and then you like see the rockets like going down through the tunnel, and it was just this huge thing. And I mean, it was not a short line by any means.
Oh no, I can only
like it definitely took a while. But as a kid, I was so amazed by all the stuff that I saw like around me happening that it seemed like it didn't take long at all. You know, and my parents were getting me excited and like talking to me about it and telling me how much I was gonna love it, and it has never disappointed me. That's still one of my favorite queues to be in whenever I go back. So, and I walk through the Star Tunnel very slowly because I love it. People get really mad at me. They pass me. I'm like, go for it. I don't care. So,
I'm here for me.
I'm doing this for a reason. Leave me alone. So.
That's awesome.
But yes. But like I said, most of mine are going to be Disney related. But yeah, Disney queues in general, especially now, dude, kids have it so much better now. Oh, yeah. They have made them way better. I went and did that was another one that was like a big deal for me. When I did the Little Mermaid dark ride for the very first time, that's my favorite. So it was a big deal. Even the queue for that ride is beautiful. And just like so detailed, and they have like games and shit.
Yeah, that's awesome when they do
amazing.
Stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have that. I had to entertain myself.
Yep. All right, Ray. What is what's your next one on your list?
Well, Lainey kind of stole my thunder there. I was going to talk about Disney World too.
Lainey. Sorry.
No, let's just say you segued really well.
There you go.
You're welcome.
So we recently went to Disney World as well. It was last February with the kids, and that's the one thing Disney World does well is they know how to move people.
Damn, do they?
It's amazing how well they can move people. But you saying Space Mountain brought back memories when I was a kid. I was probably about 8 years old. Aww. And my family went down there, and we had my great-grandmother and my dad's mother and one of my uncles and my family, so my dad and my sister and my mom, and we all went to Space Mountain.
Yes.
And the best part was that we would go a couple of times in a row.
So same.
My Nana was really excited to get on this thing. And, you know, there's the warning signs of, like, people with heart conditions shouldn't do this. And, you know, the people who have had, blood pressure issues can't do this. And there's sign after sign after sign, and she doesn't care. She's going on the stupid thing. But the way she was walking, she got her elbow going so that she wouldn't let people pass her.
Oh, she's smart.
Oh, but there was such a lineup behind us. It was massive. And she's going so slow, but she wouldn't let any pass her, and she's just giving her, and her arms just a shaking, and man, it was awesome to see.
That's amazing. God bless her, because that is perfect.
That's awesome, actually.
That makes me really happy. Like, damn it, you're not going to get in front of me. I'm getting on that rocket.
That's Lainey in another 50 years.
Yeah, literally. It's like, you're not going to pass me for this. I'm doing this.
Thanks for bringing that one up, because
that's so cute. Love that.
Awesome.
I was scared shitless on the ride when I actually got on it, but it was good.
It's a great ride. You got to do left side, or is it right side? I don't remember. It's left side, I think.
I don't remember. I was looking down most of it.
Get back.
There's different sides. One has more drops, and I think one is faster.
Okay. I'd love them both now.
Yeah, same. We usually do right side, I think.
Okay. Good to know.
Disney nerds know, man.
No, yeah, no clue. All right, Chris, what's next on your list?
I'm gonna do our trip to Florida. Ray's family, that's their place that they go. They go to Florida. So Ray went to Disney World pretty much every year.
Well, we went about 5 times. I think.
Yeah, his last time he went, he was 12, but he's been several times. So last year when we went, he was like completely geeking out. He was so happy to be there with the kids and like
share. I got to share with them.
Share the experience with them.
Oh my God.
But for me, I didn't really care what we did. I just wanted to go to Harry Potter World.
Fair.
I honestly didn't care. I didn't really care about Disney World. I want to go to Harry Potter World. We're going. I don't care how much it costs, which it costs a lot, by the way.
It does. Universal is not cheap.
No, found that out, but I was like, no, we're
doing this.
Yeah, the likelihood of us coming back is pretty slim, so we are doing the whole thing. So everything about Harry Potter World. I like you, I would have waited forever. I didn't care. I just loved being in that environment. Diagon Alley it was so perfect. It was like being in the movie. And we waited 45 minutes to go on Escape from Gringotts because the ride was out in the morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We fixed it in the afternoon. So it was me, Ray, his sister, and our niece. And we waited for 45 minutes, but it was worth it because the experience, and then you actually get into the building, and it was the bang.
Yeah, the queue for that thing is insane.
Yeah,
yes.
But it was worth it, and it was so much fun.
So I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit on that one too. So the cool thing about that too was we also had our nephew with us, who was barely like a couple months old.
Yeah, I think he was only 2 months old.
Oh wow!
And the one thing that they do really well there at Paramount is they have a waiting room for you. So we went into this side. So you wait in the queue, and then you get to the top of the line, and they
have a family room.
Yeah, they have a family room for you. So they'll put you in the family room, and usually, there's like because we're in Harry Potter World, there's a Harry Potter movie playing. There's like a sit down area, but it's comfortable, but it's still within the theme of the area.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so parents can trade off with young kids. So
oh, it's like rider swap.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so... See, when Universal puts their mind to something, they do it right.
So it's a whole room, and it's at the beginning and the end of the ride. And because Ray's sister was... I mean, he was
only 2 months old.
He was only 2 months old.
Yeah, seriously.
He can't go on the rides. So one of us was the baby, and she would go ride with her other 2 kids, and then we would go ride with our kids. Well, our kids really didn't like any of the rides.
But the cool thing was that the kids were able to go on it twice.
Yes, so that's the best thing about Rider Swap.
And that was it. Yeah. That was really cool. So
yeah, that was cool.
They did a better job, in my opinion, of the Rider Swap than
Oh,
Disney.
for sure. I wish we did that. That would have been so much better. Because Rider Swap is a really cool thing if you know about it, but that way of doing it is awesome. So you don't have people like waiting around. Oh, where do they come out at? That's so smart.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it was awesome.
Woo-hoo.
Damn, Universal.
All right, this isn't my pick, but just kind of going along with that. Yeah, so there's a water park here in Texas called Schlitterbahn, and they had this the original commercials for that had this really hot chick on it.
Best jingle ever.
Anyway, I remember there was this one particular ride I liked going on with my family, and it was poorly planned because the entrance for the ride and the exit for the ride was like half a park away, and it was like forever to get back. If you wanted to ride it again, it was like you had to cross like a quarter of the park to get to it. It was ridiculous. Hopefully they've fixed that. Anyway, my next actual pick is Actually, it's kind of a short one. When Street Fighter 2 Turbo came out, I was in high school, and all of my friends were like really hyped for it. We'd been playing Street Fighter 2 forever, and then they were releasing, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and like, oh my god, we're gonna get all the extra characters, and it's gonna be much faster, and it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, so we go to, we find out that games usually come out on Tuesdays. The shipment comes in on Mondays or whatever. Most of the time, it comes out on Mondays or whatever. So. Which was odd because I remember whenever Mortal Kombat first came out, they were, touting it as Mortal Monday, and that's when the game's coming out. But needless to say, they don't actually stock it on the shelves till Tuesday. I'm like, I wonder what marketing genius missed that. But anyway, so me and my high school friends were, just literally got there at the mall like before it even opened. We were like, wow, the old people walk the mall. This is cool. Is this gonna be us when we get old? So, we're just kind of hanging out or whatever, and, like, literally we're just, like, we were taking shifts, and, we were like, all right, so I think there was 3 or 4 of us, and we were like, all right, well, what entrances is UPS or FedEx most likely to walk through? So we had them staked out, and we literally had, like, some guy, one of our friends running back and forth, keeping information up or whatever as to nothing here, again, nothing here or whatever. And when the dude walked in, we, like, just, like, we're huddled around him, and he's like, can I help you? We're like, we're just waiting for, do you have a shipment there to whatever? He's like, well, I really can't say. We're like, okay, so we were literally following him from place to place until he got to the toy store, and then, and then once he dropped off the box, and then we're all, like, just kind of waiting there, and the guy's like, I've got some stuff to take care of. I'll check the box in here in just a moment. We're like, okay. And, like, really, I think we were just, like, literally standing there looking at him. We're just like, you could tell he was, like, getting, like, weirded out, but we were trying to make a point that, if you want us to go away, all you have to do is open up that box and sell us a game.
That's it.
Yep. So yeah, that was kind of a short one, but yeah, I definitely remember that, and that was a fun one. So
you were those.
my next story is kind of long, so like I said, I slipped in a short one there. So that's what she said. Cyrus, what's next on your list?
This one's actually going to be kind of recent.
Okay.
Ooh. Color me intrigued.
No, it's not really that interesting.
Well, that's a great way to preface it.
Yep. Great way to lead in, dude.
Whatever, but
To be honest, guys, I don't have a lot of these great lion stories. Mine are not that great. So this was the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Like, I never get to be there in line for any of these damn console releases. Like, it just never has worked out for me. Like, big console fan, never bought one day one, ever. Never happened to me. Never been able to.
Neither here.
Right. So the PlayStation 4 was coming out, and I was determined this time I'm doing it. And I'm doing it right. So I pre-ordered the PlayStation 4, and I pre-ordered all but maybe 1 or 2 of the launch titles.
Wow.
So the day of the release, I go down to GameStop, and because I wanted to pre-order a couple more games, and there was already people waiting outside in line, and I didn't have to wait in line because I had already pre-ordered. I already had my stuff. All I had to do was show up that night at like 10 o'clock and get my number, and then they have a good system now to where you don't have to do lines anymore if you pre-order. So the days of doing lines for game consoles are pretty much over at this point. But so yeah, but they did have a line of people for people that weren't pre-ordering. They were just going to buy it, when at midnight. And so I went in and I paid, the last bit that I had to pay, and the guy was like, "Hey, we've already got all the games. If you want, we can go ahead and give them to you, and then you can just get the system at midnight." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
So I got all the games. It was probably like 8 games, and he gave me the camera for it and an extra controller, all the stuff that I'd gotten.
Wow.
So I got all my stuff, and I saw these people in line, so I just sat down with them. And I started opening everything, showing it to everybody, letting them look at it. And I waited there with them the whole rest of the night until it was time to get the PlayStation 4. And we just talked about the system and video games and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was great. And then that night, walk in, get my PlayStation 4, say goodbye to everybody. And I still see some of them people sometimes when I go down there.
That's super cool.
That's cool, dude.
That's wicked, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a really good experience, and of course the PS4 turned out to be fucking awesome. So, yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
That's awesome.
I like that.
All right, Lainey, what's next on your list?
Okay, so the next one on my list, I'm trying to decide if I want to break up the Disney ride stories or not. So I guess I will.
Do you?
Okay. So I'll do a non-Disney story. Okay, so when the 5th Harry Potter book came, no, it was the 6th Harry Potter book. Yeah, when Half-Blood Prince came out, my friend and I at the time were like huge into it. Like, I mean, obviously I'm still super into Harry Potter.
Right.
But like we were really, really jazzed. Like we were super excited. We were like making this huge thing out of it. We like did it up right, our little junior high selves. So we like made t-shirts for it because that used to be the thing to do.
Awesome.
You bought like iron-on letters and stuff from Hobby Lobby. And we got like the printable iron-on paper and like printed out pictures of Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint because those were like our bays at the time. Like made sure, oh yeah, we were like crazy into it. Made the shirts and everything, and I remember my mom took us down there because neither one of us could drive because we were in like junior high. Like went down there and like waited until midnight at like the Barnes and Noble in town and got our books, and we were so excited and just immediately went home and like stayed up all night reading. So, but it was so fun because like there were a lot of kids like our age, and we just kind of grew up at like I was at an age when Harry Potter came out when I started reading it that I was around the same age as Harry when every book came out.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah, so like I started reading it and the first 3 or 4 were out already. And so like as Harry grew, I grew, and I got to kind of I truly grew up with those books, and that's why I think why they mean so much to me and to a lot of my friends. And so it was just really cool to get to go and talk to all these people. I remember people kept like complimenting me and my friend on our shirts, and thinking back, I'm like, really? Because they were so lame, but we were so excited. So, and I think the next year we went for like the next book or whenever the next one came out, and I wore like I do have Hogwarts robes. I have Gryffindor robes, even though I'm a Hufflepuff, and I wore those, and like it's a whole thing. So, but it was super fun. Like I missed when the books would come out because it was almost as big as it was an even bigger deal than the movies. Like people get dressed up, they like do the whole thing.
So does that mean you're going to get ready for the new book coming out?
Oh, maybe we'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
You're worried.
I probably should. I have a great Hermione Granger costume, so I should probably put it to you.
Might as well.
I know. I look great in it, so no big deal. I need Hufflepuff robes, though. God, I gotta do that. I gotta bite the bullet and buy me some Hufflepuff robes.
Yes.
There you go.
Trying to nickel up every time I've said that.
Right? I'm telling you. God damn it, those Hufflepuff robes.
All right, Chris, what's next on your... sorry, Ray, what's next on your list?
Sure. So I didn't have a lot of lineups or anything like that when I was a kid. We were in a small town, so there wasn't really anywhere to go to.
It was really small.
It was really small, like
4,000 people.
Yeah, so not a lot of people there. And a lot of my presents for my parents were they would order it through mail or
Sears.
phone, like Sears catalog or whatever, and so it would show up in the mail, and that's pretty much all that would happen. So what I will say is, you guys were talking about some video game stuff, and I remember I used to work at an arcade when I was a kid, and there was a lineup when Mortal Kombat 3 came out, and they had the They had the arcade system there,
Mm-hmm.
and lineup would be out the door for that game.
Yep.
And I remember like they made so much money. People were pumping quarters in that thing like crazy. So it was I do remember that one stuck with me because, like I said, I was working at the time there, so that was kind of cool. And then just to stay online, I think the reason they got rid of the lineups for, or at least tried to get rid of the lineups for the video game consoles, and maybe Sai, you can agree or disagree with me with this one. You remember when they would, like the fanboys of one or the other would go into the store, buy one, bring it out, unpackage it in front of everybody, and then smash it on the street.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like that, I think that's kind of what stopped them from doing it and trying to discourage.
That's just destructive.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, that's excessive. I don't understand.
Stupid.
Oh, there were people that would buy like 5 of them and just line them up and smash them with a big sledgehammer in front of people that were waiting, an entire day to buy one.
Well, that is wasteful and rude.
Actually, I think the reason, I think that's probably contributing, but I think the biggest reason they decided to do it different, at least at GameStop, is because of the chaos that happens when you don't do something, when you don't pre-arrange who's going to get them and all that kind of stuff. What happens is everybody fights.
Yeah.
I buy that.
It gets scary sometimes. Like some of these places where they don't do something like what GameStop does now, like at midnight. I remember whenever I wasn't there because I had to work, but my cousin and my brother went to Walmart to get my PlayStation 2. They waited in line to get that. And when they waited in line, there was like real tension because they knew there was only going to be a certain amount, and the line was like way longer, and people were starting to scream and yell and threaten each other, and it was getting bad.
Yep.
So people go nuts over stuff like that.
It's like those Black Friday clips that they always show.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Terrifying.
It's worse than that because if you don't get it at launch, you're not going to be able to get it for a while. There's no way to get it unless you overpay on eBay or something.
Right.
So it's like, Black Friday, you might miss a deal, but you can still get what you want. If you miss the launch of a system,
you're just straight up not getting it.
Right, you're fucked. So
yeah.
So yeah, that's to me, I think there were so many incidents of people getting mugged in the parking lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
This isn't the Purge. Why are people like this?
No, they had people walking people to their cars with security.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
People would straight up just beat them and then take their. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Not this girl.
I'm okay with the line disappearing.
I wasn't.
Yes, right?
I wasn't there at the Wii launch, but I understand the Wii was the worst one.
Honestly, I heard stuff about the Wii launch.
Yeah, the Wii was when it got like I think that was as bad as it got.
Maybe that's why too. You just don't hear about them doing it anymore.
It was after the launch too, though, because the Wii.
Oh yeah. They had several of these happen with the Wii because Nintendo didn't make enough of them, and then they couldn't stock them, and then they would get in a shipment, and they would all be gone that same day, and
it was like a few of them in a row.
Right. Yeah, the Wii was horrible.
Yep.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris, what you got for us?
On a lighter note.
Yeah.
Lighter.
Yeah.
Okay. So my dad is a big giant. I call him the concert slut because that's what he spends all his money on. Like my dad, he's a bachelor and he lives a pretty minimalistic life. So his money is spent on going to concerts. He must go to like a couple dozen a year. He just loves it.
We would get along very well.
For presents for us, for birthdays and Christmas, he gives us concert tickets. And
we're fine with.
Adopt me right now.
So there's two. One was when I turned 30. My dad took me to a ballet, and we watched Elton John's. It was sort of based on Elton John's life in the 70s, and it was done by the Alberta Ballet Company. And we
That
sat
sounds so
third row. Like he doesn't usually splurge for good seats. It's usually like you're in the nosebleeds and you smell
Right.
and everything like that. We got really good seats. He got really good seats, and it was amazing. It was wonderful, and he liked it. But he's a big Elton John fan, so I think that's.
so cool.
And
I
then,
would do that.
yeah, about 4 years ago, my dad bought all of us. I have 3 younger sisters. All of us and himself, Beach Boys tickets.
Stop
Big
it.
deal, because Brian Wilson was playing.
Oh.
So we went to
Big
Toronto,
deal.
me, my dad, and all of my sisters, and we, again, nosebleed seats, couldn't really see, but we knew Brian Wilson was going to be there. So me and my sister, who's closest in age to me, we were freaking out because
Yeah.
my mom also loves the Beach Boys, so she played it a lot at home, and we knew a lot of the songs, and so we were, yeah, me and my sister, which we don't have the same taste in music at all. This was like the one thing, that's it. And so we were singing, and it was so much fun. But like the line, you just, as soon as anybody lines up, you immediately smell pot. We're like, who the hell has pot? Like, don't they check the bags? But immediately, you smell pot, and you know you're at a good concert when that happens.
True
And
fact.
it was just an awesome concert to be there with
That
all
would
of
be
us.
so
Wasn't
cool.
together very often. But yeah, so those 2 things.
I'm very jealous. That would be the coolest.
It was a really good concert, and Brian Wilson actually like kept it together through the whole thing.
Aww.
Yeah,
Good job, buddy.
yeah. He looked a little like he's out of, you know, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not doing well. Like,
And this was 4 years ago, so he came in,
yeah.
played his piano, and he had his certain songs that he was singing on, but it takes on. So
That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I love that.
Right, that's good because mine
Eugene's
is
looking
getting
at me
down
like,
into the
really?
darkness. So yeah, talking about stealing thunder. That may be the title of tonight's episode is stealing thunder.
Stealing thunder. Thunder. Thunder.
Yeah. So going back to what Wasai was saying, my next story, like I said, is kind of the long one. So I was late to the game deciding I wanted to buy a PlayStation 2. I didn't think I was going to have the money for it or anything like that, and I just kind of decided, like right before it came out, I was like, you know what? No, I want one of these. I can scavenge the money for this. I want one of these. So it was the day that it came out, and I'm like, okay, I get off work at this time. I can go home and eat something real quick, and then I can go get in line. I should be one of the first people in line. Should be fine. I go to.
There you go.
Pardon me, got something stuck in my throat. I go to get something to eat, and I'm driving by Walmart, and I notice that the parking lot is really full, and I'm like, I wonder. So I went ahead and grabbed something to eat real quick, ate it real quick, told my mom, I'm like, look, I'm going to go up to Walmart and see what's going on. So anyway, I get up to Walmart, and I'm like, hey, is where the PlayStation 2's coming out? They're going to be at the electronics department or whatever. They're like, no, they're going to be at the back of the store where the where you pick up like special orders and stuff. I'm like, okay. So I go back there, and there's already this pretty decent line. Like there's 20 some odd people already in line. I'm like, okay, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm waiting in line, and it's getting close to, I don't know, 10 o'clock or so, maybe 11 o'clock or so. And one of the managers comes out and says something or another about, yeah, we do have them in. We can't release them until a certain time, but we only have 20 of them exactly. And he's trying to dissipate the line. So I start peeking out and I start asking some questions, and I'm like literally number 22 in line.
Damn.
Oh man.
And I'm just like, oh, damn it. Okay, let me think. What could I do here? We had one Walmart in Clean at the time, and I was like, I'm going to go to Copper's Cove, which is the little city right next to us. I'm like, I'm going to go to Copper's Cove and see if it's any better there. So I hop in my car, drive to Copper's Cove. I get there, and I go to the electronics department, and there's no one waiting. And I'm like, okay, I wonder if it's doing the same thing over in Clean. So I go to the back, and there's no one waiting there either. And I thought, okay, that's that's weird. Is there no one waiting for the system here? That's just really weird. So I'm walking around, just kind of looking at some stuff or whatever, and I just noticed that this other guy was looking at the section, where they were going to be putting all the stuff up, and I asked him, I said, hey, so, is there not a line yet or whatever? He goes, oh, no, they haven't told us where the line's going to be yet. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they literally told us we don't know when we're releasing the system, when we're going to, where the line's going to be, anything like that, which is, of course, bullshit.
Yeah.
Because what ended up happening is a few minutes before midnight, employees started quietly walking around the store and putting up on different places that the PlayStation 2 would be going on sale, I think at midnight, and it would be back at customer service. And of course, as soon as you read the sign, you immediately stampeded back there. Well, some people actually got hurt. And I hope that manager got his ass handed to him for that, because that was a bullshit move on his part.
Yep.
Can't do
So
that.
I get back there and I'm like 6 or 7 in line, and they only had 3. And I thought, nope, I'm going to stay in line just in case, because, they would start going some chants up, like, hope you got your money, hope your credit card doesn't fail. And I'm like, oh, there might be a chance maybe someone's credit card doesn't go.
Yeah.
Anyway, waited. Unfortunately, everyone had their money in front of me. But they did specifically, like, they walked them out with someone. Like, they had an employee walk out with them just in case there was an issue.
My God.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, I'm probably not going to get a PlayStation 2 this time. And then I'm driving home, and I look over to my left, and I forget about the old Kmart that has been there forever. You've heard of Kmart, and the bigger versions are Super K. My brother used to work there for a short period of time. They referred to it as Ghetto K.
True facts.
Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder. I know they have an electronics department. I'm sure Best Buy is going to be swamped. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stake my last bet there. So I went to bed, got up super early in the morning. Like, I think they don't open till 10 or 9, like they normally do. So I got up and I drove up there. I think at like 6 a.m. and there's no one there. There's no line. There's no cars in the parking lot. Nothing. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, give me a biscuit real quick from McDonald's. So I went to McDonald's, grabbed a biscuit, parked my car, got out, and sat down in front of the store with like a biscuit and a magazine that I was going to read.
Biscuit and a magazine.
Biscuit and a magazine. Anyway, so like maybe a half hour later, this car kind of drives up and says, hey, are you waiting for the PlayStation 2? I said, I guess so. Yes.
Sure.
There's no official line. I'm the only one here. Who knows? And he's like, well, you mind if I wait with you? I'm like, no, go ahead. So it turns out it's a guy that I knew from high school that I hadn't seen forever. So he comes out, and of course, we're catching up. Hey, man, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Where are you going to college? Whatever. And we start talking. And anyway, this other car pulls up, and these 2 GIs get out. And we just start talking to them or whatever. And it was really cool because we kind of really started feeling, like a kind of a kinship between the 4 of us. And we went from 7 a.m., probably close to 8 a.m. before anyone else ever showed up. And then all of a sudden, people just start lining up. And I mean, literally, the line very quickly, within a half hour, went like all the way down and then started bending around the store.
Wow.
And we had people driving up. They're like, are y'all waiting for the PlayStation 2? We're like, yeah. They're like, yeah, the lines at Best Buy are insane. Some dude's got a barbecue pit out there selling meat.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that dude's a smart guy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So anyway, we're waiting, and like I said, I think they opened at 9 or whatever, 9 or 10 or whatever. Anyway, about 15 minutes before they open up, the manager steps out and says, we have 4 PlayStation 2s.
Oh, man.
So, of course, everyone behind us starts doing this, well, I'm not going anywhere in case you can't pay for it or whatever, and,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, God, I'm about to get jumped. Because it's not really a good part of the neighborhood either.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're waiting in line or whatever, and it gets up close to time, and so they open the doors, and I walk in, and the guy behind me walks in. I hear the other 2 guys walking in, and I'm kind of doing a hasty walk to the electronics department, and all I hear is the one guy say, "Oh shit, run!" So I hit a dead sprint through Kmart to the electronics department.
No.
Good visual.
I get back there. The other 3 guys join up with me, and we look back, and there's no one there. There's like no one following us or anything like that. turns out, because like I said, my brother used to work there, he ended up talking to him after the fact. Turns out the real reason why the manager went out there was, one, yes, to kind of dissipate the line, but number two, to visually see who was the first people in line, because they were not going to sell it to anyone else but us.
Oh, good.
Aww.
I'm like, how the fuck did Ghetto K come up with a better planning strategy for selling this console than fucking Walmart did? But whatever.
Lack of greed.
Yeah, so bought my console. I thought, I wonder, there might be some people hanging around. So I literally like bought it. The guy goes to give it to me in a bag, and I'm like, can you just like hold it back there so I can like hang out in the store for a half hour or so before I leave, just in case? He's like, no, I completely understand. Of course, the other guys were like, the two GIs were worried about it. They're like, no, we got each other, we're fine, whatever. The other guy was like, no, that's a good idea, I'm gonna do that too. So anyway, I went back, grabbed my stuff, walked out, and everything was fine. Got home, got my PlayStation 2. It was awesome. Going back to what you were saying about the Wii, yes, the Wii shortages were insane. You know how everyone has a weird superpower that, it's not really a superpower, but it's the closest thing you have? My superpower is apparently finding consoles that no one else can.
Really?
Because during the whole Wii shortage, I probably got consoles for people, for 7 or 8 people. That was literally like, I just happened to call them like, hey, do y'all happen to have any Wii's in there? Like, yeah, we literally just got a shipment. I'm like, here, hold one for me. Made the phone call to the person. They went and picked it up. They're like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. It's my superpower. That's all I can tell you.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, some people are really good at parallel parking. Apparently, I can find hard to find consoles.
I'm really good at finding Mickey premium bars. That's it, though.
Well, like I said, it's not like I'm going to save anyone's life with my
Same.
superpower or anything. So, alrighty. So, like I said, that was kind of a long, drawn-out story. Who's next? Cyrus, you're next.
Oh, I'm done. I only had 3.
Okay, cool. Lainey, what's yours?
Okay, so my next one. One of my favorite things to do is to wait in line to meet a character at Walt Disney World. It's super fun.
Okay.
A lot of people that are older are like, I'm not going to do that, it's for little kids. No, if you're an adult, go meet a character because it's super fun and they kind of enjoy the break every now and then. So as a cast member, I was afforded a lot of really cool opportunities to meet what they call discontinued characters. So different parks, they don't necessarily all have the same meet and greet characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can meet characters at Disneyland that you can't meet at Walt Disney World, and vice versa.
Okay.
So, as a cast member, this is like 2 stories rolled into one. When I was there for college program, they do a lot of like special like housing events and stuff like that just for the kids because it's a lot of like 18, 19-year-olds. So, while I'm normally too old for that shit, there's usually free food, so I was down to go. So the very first one that they had, though, I was super excited about because it was Princess and the Frog themed. Well, I love Princess and the Frog. It's one of my favorite movies. And I found out through talking to my friend Shaquille that was there with me at the time that they were going to have 3 of the characters from the movie. And he was like, yeah, they're going to have Naveen and Tiana, but they're also going to have Lewis. Well, Lewis is the alligator. You can't meet Lewis anywhere. Like, if you live in California, you could totally meet him at Disneyland, but even then, not all the time. So I was, like, freaking out. I was like, oh, no, we're going to do this. So we waited in this cast member line for, like, an hour just to meet these characters, and I totally lost my shit. I still have the pictures. They're amazing. So, but I like, threw my arms around this alligator and was so excited about it. So in fact,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, my friend Peter likes to tell the story. That was the very first time one of my best friends, Peter, and I met because my little crew from Orlando were all very, very close. And Peter was like, yeah, he loves to tell the story. He's like, yeah, I met Lainey, and like we're talking and we're totally getting along, and then she like looks at us as we get close to the line, and I was like, so listen, you guys are great, but like I'm gonna get a solo picture with these characters. He's like, yep. Yeah, he's like, that's the moment I knew. He's like, I knew we were going to be really close. I was like, yep, well, I have that effect, so go figure. But that, and then another event that they did for us, it's like a dance. We referred to it as prom while we were there. But like towards the end of your program, they do a huge event, and it's really cool. They feed you, they have a DJ, it's a whole thing. But we were really excited because they were like, yeah, it's villain themed. It was like all Halloween themed, which I was of course all over. And they were like, oh yeah, we've got characters for you to meet. Like they're all villains. It was really cool. So we're walking around or whatever. Well, we see Jack Skellington
Okay.
from Nightmare Before Christmas, which Jack is a great character to meet. If you get the opportunity, you should absolutely do it. He's hilarious and awesome. So we walk up, and the character attendant is out there. He's like, okay, well, this line is for Jack, and this line is for Oogie Boogie. And my friend Shaquille and I look at each other, we're like, excuse me? Because you can't meet him anywhere. He doesn't meet. He's not a meet.
Oh, yeah, you
character.
told me the story.
Yeah, he's not a meet and greet character. He's in the Halloween show, like at the Halloween party that you have to buy special tickets for. You don't see Oogie Boogie anywhere in the parks. It's not a thing. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. It's all Halloween themed. It's amazing. I adore it. So Shaquille and I kind of look at each other, and he was like, do you want to meet Oogie Boogie? I was like, absolutely, I do. We waited in both lines. We waited in the Jack Skellington line and met Jack, and we waited in the Oogie Boogie line. We were in the Oogie line for like an hour. And it was worth every second. I died. Like, it was so much fun. Like, Shaq got to meet him first, and they took really cute pictures, and then I got to meet him, and I swear to God, he was, like, charming the crap out of me. Like, he was literally. But, like, he was so adorable, and those are some of my favorite character pictures I've ever taken. Like, they're so cute, because I'm just, like, smiling like an idiot, and I look like I'm totally falling for this nightmare, like, in a bag filled with bugs. Like, it was so cool. But it was totally worth it. We waited for so long because they have a thing where they, like, switch the lines out. So you wait on one side and then you wait on the other if you want to meet the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But it was totally worth it. It was so much fun. But those are just, like, character experiences, especially depending on the character. People will wait for a really long time. I am definitely one of those people because it's so much fun. So, but yeah, he was adorable. He was totally, like, creeping out and, like, throwing his arm around me, and, like, it was adorable. I love those pictures. They're so cute.
Awesome.
It was worth it.
All right, Ray, do you have anything else for us?
Yeah, Lainey, you kind of reminded me of something, so this will be my last. So, Disney World.
Yes. See, Ray and I are kindred.
Yeah, it's all good. Nothing but love. Nothing but
Gotta
love.
move to Canada.
Yeah, except that then the flights are even more expensive to get to the States. So.
Oh, damn.
I have to move to Canada to be further away from Disneyland. Anyway.
Damn it.
All right. So back to we were at Disney World, and we were at Animal Kingdom Park.
Yay!
And it was amazing. You know, we're walking around having a good time and stuff like that. And this is when we were actually figuring out our fast passes and what we could actually do with them.
Oh, it's a process.
Yes. So we had two of them used, and there was a third one that we hadn't really used yet, and we were looking at what we could do, and then we saw that there was going to be a meet and greet with Mickey and Minnie.
I used to work there. Sorry, that makes me really excited. I totally worked at that meet and greet.
I have video of her standing next to Mickey Mouse saying hi to Nick and Alex.
Yeah,
so.
sorry, that makes me really excited that y'all went to that meet and greet. Okay, continue.
So we were really excited. We were like, okay, well, let's use it for that. And it was a really hot day, so we were thinking, you know, the fast pass will get us inside a little bit quicker, and
yes.
Which it did, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're standing in line, and there's still a little bit of a wait when you do a fast pass.
Oh, yeah.
There's other people that do a fast pass. And the people behind us started bickering with the people, the cast members, saying, like, this is taking too long.
Aww.
We did a fast pass. Why aren't we first in line? There's people in front of us. And, you know, we've got the kids with us, and we're like, can you guys just knock it off? Well, we didn't say anything, but we were thinking, knock it off, because we're all here. You're nice and cool. You know you're in line. Just chill out.
Kudos to y'all for being those kind of guests, because those are wonderful.
Hilarious. They were getting all bent out of shape because they weren't meeting Mickey fast enough. I'm like, really?
Well, it doesn't buy you the front of the line. It just bypasses you from a lot of the line.
Yeah.
Like, people don't get that.
Waiting in a line.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just, it's Disney World.
Hey, we're nice and cool. Relax.
Yes, you're in the AC. Everything's fine.
So anyway, we finally peek around the corner, and sure enough, our kids are, you know, starting to get excited, and
Aww.
it's really cute. And Quinn does not want to go and meet them at all.
That's fair.
So
That's
it turns,
totally fair.
it turns into our turn, and doesn't Mickey start playing hide and seek with Quinn a little bit?
Because
Oh.
Quinn ran
into
totally
the
away.
corner of a room. Because he did
Oh.
not meeting Mickey. It is
Yeah.
not happening. So Mickey chased him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
So it was good, and Quinn liked that, and he giggled a little bit, and then we were going to do just a picture with the kids, but get Quinn in there, it was all of us.
We have a picture of him death gripping me because he did not want to be near these characters.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
I love that.
Buried in my neck because.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when we do things, I research, and I go out of my way to research maybe a little too far sometimes.
Bless you.
About it.
But I found out that there are certain phrases that you can say to character.
Yes, there are.
And so I asked Mickey why there wasn't a ring on Minnie's finger yet.
You didn't. Did you really?
Yes.
So Mickey stomps to the door and points and stomps his foot and opens it and points for me to get out. And I turned to Minnie and I kissed her on the hand.
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah.
Hitting on his girl. That's one of the best things to do. I love that.
Yeah, so I got kicked out of the Disney World by Mickey.
Got kicked out of Adventurers
Nice,
Outpost.
sir.
How dare you? You can't hit on Minnie.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, you can. I loved it. That's so awesome. That is
It was so
cute.
good.
It was
so good.
hilarious. That was one of the. That was a good day.
That was probably my favorite part. Well, that was definitely one of the favorite parts of that trip.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. I'm so glad you guys did that at Adventurers Outpost. That makes me very excited.
It was awesome.
That's so cute.
Very cool. All right, Chris, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I just have one more.
Okay.
So we took the kids to see The Force Awakens last December.
Which you have to do.
Yes.
Sure.
Ray saw it first and said that it was okay for the kids to go. And so, Eugene, you're entering into this where you can start really sharing your geekdom with the kids, and the kids are starting to reciprocate it, like really getting into it too.
Yep.
So it's wait, when they get old, it's going to be better. So Logan was almost 10 and Quinn was almost 8. So they've seen every movie, I think, except for the third one. They
haven't seen the Sith.
The third one yet.
Yeah.
Only because of the whole lava scene at the end.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So they're really into it. Quinn is a big Star Wars geek, and he's so excited, and he just couldn't contain himself. And so we buy our tickets, and we have to wait in line. We live in a very small community, and so we went to the closest city to us, which only has 20,000 people.
And we asked them, what time should we be here to line up? And the girl said, be here an hour before showtime, or you're not going to pick a seat.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get a seat. So we do. And this is the first time I've ever seen them. They actually had line barriers set up.
There's 3 different sections. They had section A, section B, section C, and then D was like outside the theater.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. So we were section 8 because we were,
An hour early.
we were an hour early. So we're like, and the kids are like, oh, what time is it? When are we going in? Why are we standing here? And then we get in, and they're all excited, and they love the movie. They cried when Han Solo died. And
Hey, spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
It's been 6 months. You can do it after 6 months.
What?
Yeah.
Han Solo did what?
Hey, what?
Just the son.
You bitch.
Can you imagine?
But it was a really great experience. It's fun now to do those things with the kids because they get just as excited, if not more, than we do about.
That's so cool.
Nice.
I love that.
Coming, Eugene. It's coming.
You're almost there,
You're
man.
all just 8. Eight's like the golden year.
2-3 more years, you're going to start.
They'll just be like so super excited, and they'll be able to sit there for the entire movie, totally absorb it, and it was just so much fun. It's been fun to do that with the kids, and now that they're getting older and they're just as geeky as we are, it's been awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I love that.
Yeah, a couple of quick things. Number one, we're definitely going to have to do an episode about raising kids to be geeks. And number two, actually, yesterday, my wife and my mother took our boys to go see The Secret Life of Pets, and they made it through the entire movie. So yes,
Awesome.
we're getting there. We are slowly getting there. The live action stuff, I still have to fast forward through stuff. Like I still want to sit down and watch. We still haven't done Empire yet, but I'll have to fast forward through it. So, okay, I just have a couple of quick things, and actually they kind of go together. And Cy was actually part of one of these. So there used to be a podcast I listened to, watched. It was really, really big. The two guys the one's actually become a angel developer and worked for Google for a while, and now kind of does his own thing. The other guy has gone on to do a lot of other stuff, including producing some like short movies and stuff like that. And it was called Dig. Actually, it was called Dig Nation because it was a show basically based off Kevin Rose and Alex Albrecht, and they sat on a couch and drank beer and talked about the biggest stories on Dig. And I mean, they had a huge following. Well, anyway, the company that they had started that was doing other podcasts and stuff and had other shows was called Revision 3. Well, Revision 3 at South by Southwest, which over the years started off as a music festival and has actually become multiple things. They were going to have a big concert venue. So they had what they referred to as the Big Dig Shindig, and it was going to be held at Stubbs Barbecue, which there's a big concert hall there. And I mean, they've had like Metallica and stuff. They've had some big acts there. And so anyway, Lewis and I are both huge fans. We hear about this, we're like, oh man, we've got to go to this. So it's me and Lewis and our wives and another couple, and we get there. And there's no one waiting in line. Like the show's supposed to start at, I guess 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock. Definitely in the evening time. And we were there like at 11 or whatever. And Lewis and I would have been perfectly content sitting down in line and just like waiting. But of course the wives and the other couple were like, well, we're here in Austin. Can we go look at some other stuff? So we kind of reluctantly are like, yeah, okay. So we kind of wandered around, did some other stuff. Came back a couple hours later, and there's some people waiting there. We're like, oh, well, at least just a couple people, not a big deal. So we went, sat, waited, or whatever. And, it turns out before the show, they had come out and seen who the people sitting in the front of the line were, and when the show actually began, they allowed them to get pulled up on stage and got to sit on the couch with them.
Oh, no.
To which, Lewis and I are just looking at our wives like, that could have been.
Should have been me.
So anyway, they did this for like 3 or 4 years in a row. Well, anyway, the second year, we had actually started the original site, One Man Asylum, and we thought, hey, why don't we go down there and because these people are all into podcasting, we have a podcast, so on and so forth, and like hand out shirts. So we got there, and it was me and Lewis and Rudy and Cy. And we planned ahead this time. We were smart about it. Like we brought chairs and we had coolers, and we actually had we took water bottles, and because we knew it was going to be hot, we took water bottles and wrapped One Man Asylum, I think, labels on some of them or whatever. And we passed out labels, bottles of water. We passed out T-shirts to the people in the line, and we were like, hey, we were specifically doing it for the people in the front of the line. We're like, hey, we'll give you a free shirt. Would you mind putting it on so that whenever they're on stage, they basically look out and the first couple of rows just has nothing but One Man Asylum, so maybe they'll ask, what the hell is this? And, try to get something going there. That didn't necessarily happen. We had a great time. Actually, Cy was really taken aback because just out of nowhere, they pulled up one of his favorite directors to actually do a quick interview. You remember that, Cyrus?
Oh, yeah. Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez gets up and starts talking about his new project, Predators.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, he got up there and was talking, and we had a great time doing that. I don't remember if they crowd surfed that year. Maybe it was the next year. It was insane. It was awesome.
Awesome.
And then Brian Brushwood was also actually there.
They didn't crowd surf, but that Leo guy did.
That's right, yeah. Leo Laporte did that year. Anyway, so Brian Brushwood was there, and we actually got to meet him and talk to him or whatever afterwards, and it was a lot of fun. And we went back the next year, and I think it was just me and Rudy that year, and It was a lot of fun. Actually, the shirt that we designed for the next year was actually Crowd Surf Crew because we thought, well,
I
if
had
they do
that
this
shirt.
again, if we do this again, maybe we can. And I've met the guys. I've got pictures with them. They're hanging up on my wall. I actually gave them all shirts, and they were like, oh, we were wondering where the hell those shirts came from. Those are awesome. I'm like, awesome. So anyway, that's part of the story. The other part of the story is that first year, another show that we listened to called the Totally Rad Show was also having their own little thing. They were also part of Revision 3, and they were having it at a bar. It was like the next night. So Lewis and I drove over there, and it was just us, and we were waiting in line, and we were probably 10 people or so back in line. We got to talking to this guy that was in front of us or whatever, and we got to really know this guy and kind of talking about the whole kinship thing that you develop in line or whatever. Like, I had Lewis there, so I'm like, dude, I need to go get a drink of water. I'm going to go get something to eat. What do you want me to bring you? And he's like, oh, whatever. So I'd go get stuff, and I'd wait, and then he'd go get stuff and come back or whatever. And this third guy was like, man, I'm here by myself. I actually drove from, I can't remember where he said he drove from. And we're like, dude, we got you, man. Like, go do what you need to do, and we got your place in line. He's like, awesome. So, we ended up working out with him. And when we got into the actual event, he ended up buying us both beers. Of course, I don't drink beer, so I'm like, I still, greatly appreciated it. It was awesome. Of course, handed my beer to Lou. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. The event was very small, there was not many people. That was really actually pretty cool that we got to get in or whatever. The opening act on it was actually Jonathan Colton, who, if you know who he is, he's a really big geeky musician, so I got to actually see him perform, which was flipping awesome. Of course, I knew what was funny is the iPhone had not been out that long, and as I was up close whenever he starts singing, and when he starts doing one of his songs, I went and pulled out, do you remember like the lighter apps?
Yes.
Basically it just turns the screen. And it looks like a lighter with, and like whenever you move the phone back and forth, the flame would go. I pulled that up and held it up, and when people saw it, they started pulling it up as well. We were doing it back and forth. It was awesome. I got that started, and he noticed it, and he thought it was cool. Yeah, so that was really cool. I remember that was a great experience waiting in line. Like I said, that's one of those times when I was waiting in line where you kind of got a kinship with someone else, and just talking with other people. So that was a lot of fun. I love that still.
Yeah.
So you said you were out, right?
Yeah. I'm fine.
All right, Lainey, do you have anything else?
Oh, absolutely, I do.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I'm going to combine these two. They're also Disney related. I'm so sorry.
Surprise, surprise.
But also, sorry, I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about getting to go back as a semi-adult was getting to, like, share all of these, like, cool memories with my friends, like, just stuff I grew up with and I really, really enjoyed. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is right?
Yes.
Is one of the greatest attractions that they have there. It's wonderful. Everything about it is perfect. The queue is perfect. The ride is perfect. Everything is just wonderful.
By the way, apparently I understand they're taking that down and they're replacing it with
only at Disneyland.
Okay, and they're replacing it with
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
That is not yet confirmed.
Okay, just making sure. That's what I heard.
Yeah, we're pretending like it's not happening, but
Okay.
it's not totally confirmed yet.
Same ride.
Yeah, trust me, my friend Shaquille is not happy because that's his home park, Disneyland. Yeah. So, but Twilight Zone Tower of Terror it holds a very, very special place in my heart. I remember riding it for the very first time, and the line is usually like super crazy long. But it's fun because the queue is really, really well done, and they truly start the story from before you even walk up to it. Like as you're walking down Sunset, like you see it in the distance and it's looming. So they start that story super, super soon because that's what Disney does. But every time I've like been in that line with anybody else, it's been like a super cool experience. Mm-hmm. I remember going in that line with my dad as a kid, and like I was really scared, and this super cool family that was sitting in front of us was like talking to me about it, and they had like 3 sons, like different ages or whatever, and they really talked to me like, no, it's totally fun, you're gonna love it, and like made me really excited to ride it. And then every single time I went with my group of friends, that was the first place we went. We'd always go straight down Sunset and walk straight up there. That was where our first Fast Pass was. Mm-hmm. That's where I got like really close to my friend Matt. Like every time I ride that ride, I think more about like getting to go through it with my friends and like pointing out cool stuff to them in the queue and talking to them about it. I actually had the really cool experience of. Oops, I dropped a headphone. I had a really cool experience. I got to a really good friend of mine came and visited me. He's been on the show. My friend Parker came and visited me while I was in Florida towards the end of my trip, or towards the end of my program. And, like, getting to bring him, like, a total noob through those lines and, like, onto these attractions was a completely different experience for me. It was so cool because I got to, like, show him all this cool stuff and, like, talk to him about all these, like, little dumb facts that I'm constantly full of, you know, and he loved it. You know, and you meet all these cool people. Like, at one point we were in the line and he had never been on Tower of Terror, and he was talking to this, there was a little girl in line behind us with her parents. She was like 5. She was really little. She was barely tall enough to ride.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was so sweet because he starts talking to her, and he was like, I've never been on either, you know, like, I mean, if you're scared, maybe I'm too scared to ride it too. And, like, totally talked this little girl into, like, riding it and being super brave. It was so sweet. You know, but that was so cool. Like, there's something about getting to go through, like, because it makes the line for the ride, like, way shorter. But it's just really cool to get to walk through and, like, point out all the little, like, anachronisms and everything. And something about that specific ride, every time I've been in line for it with anybody, like, we end up getting to talk about all this cool stuff, and we get closer, and it brings people together. Twilight Zone, it brings people together. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Just in general.
Love it.
Plus, that line is badass. Like, that's one of the best done cues in the. Like, oh, God, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's perfect. I'd say Ray and Chris know what I'm talking about. It's perfect.
I've never been on it.
Chris,
Really?
She will not go on that one.
Okay, but you know what? Don't go on it. Just go through the queue, because you can exit. It's worth it.
No, because if I get to the end of that queue, I'm going on that ride.
I'll tell you what. Y'all plan your next trip, and I'll just meet y'all there.
Ooh.
Yeah, see? And then that way, like, we can all go through the queue together, and then Chris can be like, all right, I'm out.
So,
And it's totally fine. It'll be fine. But you got to see Rod Serling. Yeah, Chris is like, all right, I'm done. But yeah,
Her and Logan will walk away, and you, me, and Quinn will go ride it.
perfect.
No, he won't either, so it's just you and me. Sorry.
It's cool. It's cool. Ray and Lainey, we got this. I love
Awesome.
yeah.
Does anyone have anything else they want to add real quick?
No, I'm done.
Nope.
All
All right. A couple quick things I just wanted to bring up. Yeah, so during the big days that we were like originally promoting the original site and going through these dig things or whatever, we were smart in that we parked not too far away. We got there pretty early, but we had like chairs. Like I said, we had a nice chest and stuff like that. And when it got close to time, like a couple of us would hold the line. The other guys would like pack stuff up and take it to back to the car or whatever. And I always thought, I wonder if someone has ever thought about like building equipment specific for people have gotten really inventive with the folding chairs and everything else, but I almost wonder if anyone's ever come up with a line of specific like line sitting stuff, because I mean people who go to concerts constantly or I would say specifically for them, this is the type of stuff I could see them investing in.
Like chair pants.
Chair pants.
Chair pants.
You can walk around in them, but when you go to sit down, they turn into a chair.
Ooh. Oh, I was gonna say
If
they
you can
don't
patent
give
that, go for
you the lap boner like some pants do.
Oh, that would also be good too.
Right?
Okay.
We're getting ideas.
Yes.
Alrighty. But yes, and then like I've never sat in a line and like been like in costume or whatever. Of course, I'm just now starting to get into the whole costume thing or whatever. The whole thing about y'all bringing lightsabers is freaking awesome.
That's so cool.
But I think back when I worked at the movie theater, so this is 96, 97, whichever Star Trek movie was coming out at that time. The local Star Trek group had showed up, and like their leader had shown up, and I mean he was in full
regalia.
Yeah, he was in full. Trying to think the formal wear, not the average wear. Like so like had the shirt that or the jacket that buttons over to the side.
So not business casual.
No, it wasn't business casual. He was in full door. And I always remember, I was like, man, that's really cool. Like, you're here and you're getting tickets for the rest of your group, and of course, as they start showing up, they're all, dressed up as well or whatever. But I remember there was always a group of people that were walking by there, and I, hear them snickering and stuff. And I'm like, why are y'all being douches, man? Like, this is what this guy's into. He's having fun. He's not hurting anyone or whatever.
Kudos to him for being awesome.
He did like to drop a lot of Star Trek knowledge on us, but he definitely wasn't like the issue we had last night. He was cool. So, but yeah, those are just some of the things that I've kind of thought about it. So, but yeah, I'm glad I don't have to really wait in a lot of lines anymore. That being said, if my boys do really get into video game consoles, I could see would be the thing. If it's concerts, that'll probably be Mama's territory.
False. That will be Aunt Lainey's
Mom
territory.
and Aunt Lainey's territory, so they can wait in line.
They're not listening to hair metal.
They can wait in lines with them to go for stuff like that. But if it's electronics, or if it especially has to be like video game consoles, I actually kind of look forward to those evenings of going up there and waiting in a line or whatever to get a new console with them. So because that's something that I've done, and I've been with my brother or whatever, and some other friends, and it's been fun. So, all right. So let's go ahead and move on into our picks and pans for the evening. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Lainey.
My pick is gonna piss Eugene off. My pick is gonna be the new Ghostbusters movie.
Okay.
Why
is that pissing me off?
Oh, I don't know. I thought that's what you were gonna pick.
Okay.
Pisses me off.
God, sorry. But yeah, my pick is going to be the new Ghostbusters movie. Eugene and I got to go see it on Thursday evening, and it was so good. I mean, I've been a big proponent of them doing this movie, especially with the all-female cast, since I heard about it. I was really, really excited about it because, growing up and liking a lot of movies that have nonstop male leads, I think this is really, really good, but I was very, very nervous because there was obviously a lot of really bullshit issues, that people were having with it, and I was like, okay, well, as long as they get it totally right, it'll be fine. And I feel like they really did. Eugene, you can jump in, but I think that they did a great job. It felt very natural. It didn't feel forced. It was just very, very well done. The casting was perfect.
The only thing I'm going to add to that, because I don't want to get into anything spoilery or anything, but if you enjoy a good comedy that is has a lot of sci-fi stuff to it, I don't know, like the original Ghostbusters movie, and you're not carrying a lot of baggage for whatever reason.
Bullshit, sexist baggage.
Even if it's not even that, even if it's just you're the one of these people that's like, well, it can never be as good as the original. Just give it a shot. I mean, we're not getting George Lucas on this. As you're watching the movie, Paul Feig is not, sneaking into your house to steal your copies of the original movies. If you do happen to go in there and watch the movie and you don't like it, that's fine. Go home and watch the originals and share those or whatever. But give it a shot, honestly, because I really would hate for the BS that's coming out. And Lainey and I were talking about this earlier today. The showing, like, we're going to go watch it again tomorrow in 3D, which I understand the 3D on it's supposed to be really good.
Yep.
But like buying tickets for it ahead of time, it doesn't look like the theater's really all that packed. And when we went and watched it, the theater wasn't super packed either.
Not at all.
Of course, I thought, well, maybe that's because it's a Thursday night or whatever. But I really hope it makes a decent amount of money so that we can get more stuff. Because
go see it.
Yes, please go see the movie because number one, it is really, really fun. Unfortunately, and historically speaking, this is accurate. Most of Paul Feig's stuff, the trailers for them do not
do it justice.
Didn't do it justice.
Not
but it's
at all.
not. You have to really hear the jokes in context for them to really hit. Plus, that first trailer, I thought it was okay, but I understand where it was confusing and stuff. But yeah, whoever does the trailers at Sony just like it needs to be fucking fired because not only for this, they've done this for other other movies as well. So
we would be great at that.
But yeah, just go give it a shot. It's definitely worth it. So.
Totally worth it. And I will speak on this. Like it was very much everything I was really hoping it was going to be. I think it's important that when you go and see it, like they don't make it a whole thing like, oh, well, we redid it, but we did it with women this time. It's not like that at all. It just very much feels like, oh, we rebooted Ghostbusters.
Yes, and it's not this, well, she's obviously the Egon. No, she's nothing like Egon.
Not at all, and it's awesome.
Patty is not Winston,
Mm-mm.
and Aaron is not Venkman. They're
really
their own
fresh,
characters.
really new characters, and I'm just excited. Like when we got to go and do our event the other night, one of the things that made me really happy was all of these little girls going and seeing this movie.
Yes.
It's just, I know that it sounds really stupid, but it's not. Representation is really important, you know. And and for these girls to have these awesome, badass, super rad, smart women to look up to, it's just going to make a huge difference. And I just go and see it because we need more movies like this for our girls. So
what you're saying is this is the best movie ever made.
well, I wouldn't
No.
say that, but it like, I mean, as a fan of the original, as a huge fan of the original, I was really, really happy with it.
And most of the Ghostbusters community, from what I'm reading online, pretty much agrees. They're like, it's not a perfect movie. Is it
The
as
first
good
one's
as
not
the
a
first
perfect
one?
movie.
No. Is it a really, really good movie? Yes. Is it probably better than the second one? That depends. There are a lot of people who absolutely
think
hate
so.
the second movie. I like it. It's got some good parts,
I like
but I
the
understand
second one,
it,
but
so.
I think that this one was better than the second one.
So, yeah. And
If it's-
for all the people who are out there complaining that, oh, this is going to kill the Ghostbusters franchise,
You're an
well,
idiot, and you can come and
you
fight
could
me.
say Ghostbusters 2. You could say Slimer and the real Ghostbusters when they got to the later part of the series. And, of course, everyone's already forgotten about Extreme Ghostbusters. So, yeah, that argument holds no water.
Straight up.
Um,
If you have an issue with it that's not valid, you can come fight me. I don't care.
There you go.
You guys are just trying to boost the numbers for the summer game movie. That's all you're doing.
Actually, no, because I don't even
I didn't
have
have it
I
high
don't have it
enough
on my
on my
top
list.
10. I literally have it as an alternate. I'll only get 1 point out of this fucker.
I looked that up. I saw it afterwards, and that's
Yeah.
why.
I'm going to jump in here with mine because I originally had 4. But yes, so I'm going to run through them real quick. Number 1, yeah, Ghostbusters. Definitely go see the movie. It's fucking awesome. Number 2, Ghost Heads. There's actually a documentary that is out on Netflix right now, at least in the States. Since it's not a huge movie, I think it got pretty wide distribution. Especially being a documentary, they're pretty good about that. It's about the people who have been super fans of Ghostbusters since day one, and just have picked it up over the years. And there's a lot of heartwarming stories in there. Ghostbusters means it's like Star Wars or Star Trek or any other major fandom out there. There's some people that just it means a lot to them for a lot of different reasons, and and unlike some of those other documentaries that you've seen out there, like Trekkies or Trekkers or whatever it was called, that kind of is sitting back and secretly kind of laughing at these people.
Oh,
it's
the
not that way.
Bronies one?
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's not making fun of the people at all. It's generally very heartfelt about it, and it's just a really good documentary. So check it out on Netflix. My third pick is actually my partner sitting here next to me, Lainey.
Me?
So we went out to, like she said, we went out and did this event. We've been, promoting it the last several weeks, and we got out there about 4:30 and got set up, and we did lots of really cool pictures. They're all posted on the website, so definitely go check them out, and they're on our Facebook and
They're
Twitter
really
and everything.
sweet.
But the reason why she's my pick is she's Lainey, she's got a bubbly personality, but the training that she had at Disney so paid off. She knew the right answers and stuff to people. Kids were coming up and asking, "Are you real?" And you don't want to lie to them, but the answer to that, yes, I'm a real person.
Absolutely, I'm a
So
real
yes, I'm
Ghostbuster.
real.
That's a real proton pack.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's just the way that they lit up, and I did get several chances where I could kind of sit back and see her, interacting, especially with the little kids, and it was awesome. So big props to my partner here. So because me showing up by myself as a Ghostbuster would have been cool, but having her there made it so much better. And the only thing that could have made it even better than it was is when we find some more people to recruit.
Yes. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
And then, like I said, I actually have 4 picks this week, and the 4th pick is, and she will maybe never hear this, is my wife.
Oh.
I have been working on this project pretty much nonstop for the last several weeks. It took me, I went back and checked my Instagram feed. It took me 77 days to build mine. That was nights and weekends. And it wasn't always easy, but she puts up with it. She puts up with my geekiness, and I try to contain it as much as possible in one area, but there are nights and days that like there was stuff on the in the kitchen cabinet and stuff out on the back porch, and then my office has been a wreck. My office is still a wreck right now. That's what I'm working on tomorrow, and she turns an eye to it, a blind eye to it, and lets me be me. Like she was out there taking pictures for us last night.
Yeah, it was awesome.
She supports me in
and
this
like
stuff,
promoting the site
and supports the site, and she lets me be me. And like I said, who knows? She may never hear this, but I have to say thank you so much for letting me be me. So, Cyrus, what is your pick or pan for the week?
Well, I've had a little extra time to kind of hang out at my house this past couple of weeks.
Really?
You don't say, sir.
Yeah.
Do tell.
So yeah, anyway, what I wanted to say was I still had HBO Now hanging around because my subscription hadn't quite run out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
So I went through the old queue of shows, and I had seen a couple of promos for this show called Rome that they did. It's been a few years back, actually. I didn't realize it was an older show. There was 2 seasons of Rome, 10 episodes each. I've watched Rome, like shows about Rome, Cleopatra, all kinds of stuff. I've watched mini-series. There was one that had like Timothy Dalton and Billy Zane, and it was pretty cool. So I've kind of liked the story, like the different interpretations of it. Everybody likes Gladiator,
Right, yeah.
But I was like, let me check this out and see if it's any good. It was fucking amazing.
I've heard good things about it.
It's only 2 seasons, but it wraps up very nicely. Like it's really good. It's really I don't know how historically accurate, obviously, but actually, going back, I did watch a couple of little documentary pieces off YouTube to try to check on some of the stuff they did in it, and I was like, wow, they actually were fairly accurate about some of this stuff. But very, very well made. You could tell they didn't have the biggest budget in the world, but even still, it was really good. The acting is fantastic, and the people they got were just really great choices. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out Rome on HBO. Ray Stevenson. Do y'all know who Ray Stevenson is?
Yeah.
Best thing.
What's his involvement?
He's one of the stars. He's one of the 2 stars, and he's fucking awesome. He's really good in this. Really sympathetic character you really identify with, and just really impressive. I had seen a couple of things he had done in the past, like he was in that G.I. Joe second movie, and he was the Punisher before it was given to the current Punisher,
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know really what to expect from him, but very impressed, very much impressed me.
Very
really
cool.
Good. Yeah, it's a good show. The greatest show I've ever seen. Oh my God, it's so amazing. No, I'm just kidding.
It's better than Game of Thrones.
I want to thank everyone that helped me be able to watch that show.
Oh my
Oh, Lord.
God.
It means so much to me. No.
Get out.
All right, Chris, what's your pick or pan for the week?
Okay, I got 3 picks. So last week we were under, for much of the week, we were under a heat warning, which you would laugh at.
I was going to say, what is it?
It was 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
What?
Get out of here. It's been like 98 degrees here all week.
No.
90?
Yeah.
That's cute. That's spring.
No. But I understand. You people are used to like sub-zero.
We went from like 70 to 90 within a day.
Yeah, like our summers are pretty up and down. But anyway, so it was a good, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days where it was just really humid and really, really hot. So I put out on Facebook, I guess last week, that I was looking for a farm table and some chairs. And my mom saved one from this their storage building. I guess my stepdad's kept a lot of his mom's stuff. So I got it, and it was perfectly beat up. It was wonderful. So I set it up outside, and we ate dinner outside, which was perfect because it was so stuffy in our house. We don't have air conditioning.
I got the barbecue going.
I got the barbecue going. It was great. Ate breakfast out there the next morning. So it's been really great for when it's super hot outside. We can just eat outside.
Yes, and my wife is totally jealous because she posted the comment. So
y'all have the
as soon as she saw it, she's
setup.
just like, "Oh my god!"
How dare y'all be so adorable? Damn.
So that's one of my adorable pics. And then on Thursday, Ray's sister comes up a lot to the beach because our area, because Ray's parents live up here too. And so we decided to go to the beach on Thursday, and we went to a part of the lake that has a sand beach. It's called Sauble Beach, and it was really warm outside, so it was a perfect day to go. But it was super windy. So what happens is there's a lot of waves, and there's a bit of an undertow, which you have to watch. But
the lake actually sort of becomes an ocean in the way the waves are crashing in and
pulls you out and stuff. But it was so much fun, and the kids were just having a ball, just crashing into these waves. Poor Quinn was getting knocked around. I got knocked over a few times. But it was so much fun, and it was exhausting because you're just trying to stand up, and you're just getting pelted by all these waves, but it was a lot of fun. And then my other pick is my hubby.
Aww.
He worked so hard on our bedroom, and
it looks really great, by the way, Ray.
Thank you.
And today he started ripping apart the bathroom. Like there's a hole in my floor in the bathroom because he's gonna start. He's replumbing the whole bathroom, and he's doing this all by himself. So it's amazing. Our house is in disarray. Again, we got it put together for like 2 weeks before.
I enjoyed those 2 weeks.
I enjoyed those 2 weeks too. They were great. But the fact that you do all this work yourself, and it's amazing, and I love you, and you are a true Renaissance man.
Oh, they're so cute. Get out.
Aw, yeah.
No. It's awesome.
Good deal.
I love you.
All right, Ray. What is your pick or pick for the week?
All right.
Well, she's gone from that, and I'm going all the way back to Xbox One games. Yay!
Oh, you were so cute. Oh.
My pick is Star Wars Battlefront again because they during the Star Wars celebration they released the Death Star announcement trailer, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, it
and
does.
I can't wait. They've confirmed that you can play as Chewie, and that's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other thing that they announced was they're putting more offline content on there, so Quinn and I can start playing a bunch of stuff together that we haven't been able to play yet, which is even better. And so yeah,
because he's looking forward to that.
He's really looking forward to it, and it's just it allows me to share Star Wars with him even more. So
Nice.
Do that, yeah, it's awesome. So. And my other pick is my wife.
Oh God, you did.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say this anyway,
Okay.
and Eugene kind of set the bar.
Stole your thunder.
No, you set it up because anybody you can share your geekiness with is awesome, and then to be able to share it with somebody that you've married is even better. So I completely agree with you, Eugene.
Oh no, Christy tolerates me. She doesn't share any of it.
But she shares it with you in a way that she takes pictures.
She's supportive.
She's
Yeah,
supportive.
she
appreciates that that's something that's a huge part of who he is.
Yes. So.
I would pick my wife.
No.
Really, don't please don't do that. All right, so if you would please go to iTunes or wherever it is you listen to the show. Yeah.
Oh,
remember?
sorry.
Jeez, don't pay attention to anything I say.
I know, right?
I am listening. Shut up, Cy.
I don't even know why I'm on the damn show. It's like,
okay, Cy, we still love you.
Cy, did
Okay,
you say
Marion.
something? Or what? Is there something you said today?
My brain isn't functioning properly,
I know.
Marion.
If it's not
Get out.
Disney, it's not important. I understand.
Exactly.
Fact.
Yeah.
True fact.
If you would, if you listen to us on iTunes or Stitcher, please go there and give us a 5-star rating. It does really, really help us. I think we're pretty close to hitting that threshold on iTunes to get us to start being recommended to, other people who are looking for, geeky podcasts and such. You can also watch us on YouTube. Also check out the site on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Actually, I'm going to really kind of push it this week. If you haven't already, go to the Facebook page and just hit the like button. We don't post a lot. I purposely try not to post anything that's not directly for the site. Like, I know a lot of sites post every little piece of geek news that come out there.
We're trying not to be obnoxious.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that. If it has to do with the site, I'll post it. If not, there's other places you can go for news. But it definitely it allows us to have conversations and have fun and stuff. So if you would go to the Facebook page and definitely give us a like. So because we'd like to get those numbers bumped up. We just finished up our Ghostbusters event yesterday. So the next time you'd be able to see us would be at Classic Game Fest on July 30th through 31st in Austin, Texas. Right now it's going to be me, Lainey, and Cyrus. You'll be able to come out and see us there and see all the cool stuff that we have going on. And then after that, on August 12th through the 14th, you'll be able to see us at Geek Fest. I think that's pretty much... Oh, one other thing. I'm kind of running low on ideas for opening either order questions. So if you want, you can go to the website and you can post an either or question. You can also send it to us, like I said, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we might end up using it at the beginning of the show. Where can we find you on the internet, Cyrus Martin?
Go to YouTube and look up Cyrus Martin, and you will find me, and you will find all kinds of fun stuff. I've been very active the past couple of weeks, so there's quite a bit of videos, including one we did today, which was very fascinating and cathartic, which I'll let you discover on your own. Just look for the one that's titled The Truth About Consoles versus PC Gaming.
Oh, God, you just like swatting that horn.
No. It's not what you think.
Okay.
Ooh, intrigue.
It's a collaborative discussion between me and Leo Diaz.
Oh, okay.
It's a very serious discussion, and my old buddy stops by.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have to watch this one.
Ooh.
Excellent teaser. Will Game Rambling be going on tomorrow?
Yes. Game Rambling Sundays at 5 p.m. Central Time.
Very awesome. Lainey, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at It's a Laney-Bird. I am still really bad about Twitter. I'm working on it.
It's
right?
all good.
I don't want to be like the obnoxious one on Twitter, so.
No, that's me. Chris, where can we find you on the internet?
On Instagram at Lake Life Mama, and my blog, which may never be posted to again because I'm being lazy, theimpostersyndrome.wordpress.com.
Ray, where can we find you on the internet?
Instagram, you can find me at Lake Life Artist.
And you can follow my wacky adventures at Optimachine on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It was pretty much chock full of Ghostbusters stuff. I promised the wife no more projects for a little while, so who knows? It may go back to being barbecue and other goofy stuff, but there are more projects to come. Just may take a little time. For everyone on the site, have a good night.